I found myself driving down dusty dirt roads of Polk County, Nebraska, a little over an hour away from my resident city of Lincoln. My name is Alyssa May. I'm a student journalist from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. The object of my drive was simple. Here in Nebraska, we are facing an extremely controversial issue: the Keystone XL pipeline. This Canadian pipeline runs from the tar sands in Canada to the Gulf of Texas, trekking across private ranches and farms and over the Ogallala Aquifer. Many Nebraskans aren't happy about it, including the man I drove 2 hours to see, Jim Carlson. Jim owns nearly 800 acres of farming land. Although he's retired now, his son has taken over the family farm.
For harvest, we drive tractors alongside the combines.
I asked Jim to show me around his property. I wanted to understand his connection to it. We walked through his equipment barn, drove a tractor through his field, and went up to his favorite lookout spot to view the Nebraskan sky.
I feel like there's a cat rubbing on their feet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hi, you.
This is Jim's domain. He's lived within 5 miles of his current home his entire life. He and his wife, Chris, married early and started a family, and he's been working the land since he was a child.
I guess let's walk out of here and we'll get a shot of it.
But Jim's land is also in the path of the Keystone XL pipeline.
My dad's family's from Sweden.
Okay.
My great-grandfather came over with the 3 or 4 brothers, and he's the one that bought the first place here. That we just got an award from the Exarban Family Farm Award for being in the family for 100 years.
Wow. TransCanada, the company building the pipeline, has offered Jim a one-time payment that eventually sums up to be around $300,000 for a permanent easement through his land. A final offer that has been offered multiple times. Each time, Jim has refused.
My property goes basically a half a mile east of here, and then the farm ground to the north of here to the river. It's pastures along the river, but my farm ground is south of that. And then
From the time I spent with Jim, I could see how much this land meant to him.
my farm's all
He wasn't going to hand over the reins to TransCanada without a fight. In fact, Jim proudly showed me the solar panel he and the other landowners with Bold, Nebraska, built directly in the path where the pipeline would cut through his property. A small act of peaceful defiance to a situation wildly out of his hands.
So, so this has obviously been in your family for a really long time. What does this land mean to you? Like, emotionally, financially? What? I obviously, as a Nebraskan farmer, this land is very important.
Yeah. Well, it's important enough that I wouldn't let anyone bury a tar sands oil pipeline and run that product through that pipe for the $254,000 offer they offered me. It's worth a lot more than that. In fact, it's worth more than money could probably buy.
He isn't the only one not signing TransCanada's easement. Several miles down the road in York County, I visited Susan Donovan. Susan and her husband are conservationists. They bought their plot of land hoping to restore the natural prairie lands. Little did they know that a crude oil pipeline would be slicing their prairie in half.
I have to look in the mirror every day. I have to stand up for what I believe. And I cannot jeopardize the land and the water of not only my land and water, my neighbor's land and water, or the state of Nebraska, or our country. I just think it's way too important. I think that land and water are the most important things, more important than oil or any money or anything like that. You have nothing if you do not have your land and your water.
Land and water isn't the only thing that has these owners concerned. Randy Thompson, who was on the first proposed route of the Keystone XL, disliked the idea of a foreign company using eminent domain to take private land from U.S. citizens.
Well, first of all, they're a foreign corporation. And if you're going to let foreign corporations take land away from American citizens, who else is going to come in and start taking land away from us, you know? China, Russia, or they could sell their easement to anybody. So Russia or China, anybody could end up owning this easement across the United States.
Just like that.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
So that's live.
Yep, now it's live.
Oh, now it's live.
Yes, this
Okay.
is live right here. Yeah.
I see.
So this is kind of what it's a really cool little technology.
I'm trying to think where I could use that on the farm.
You can like look around. Yeah.
When you were talking about that, I thought,
Like the others, Jim Carlson has been fighting this pipeline for years. But also like the others, his hands are tied. The decision on whether TransCanada can start using eminent domain to take the land from these landowners is in the hands of Nebraska's Public Service Commission.
Mr. Executive Director, are you ready? Ready? Maybe everyone may be seated. Good morning. We will call the November 20th, 2017 Nebraska Public Service Commission meeting to order. Being no further commissioner comment or questions, roll call please.
Rod Johnson.
Yes.
Frank Landis.
Yes.
Crystal Rhodes.
no.
Mary Ritter.
No.
Tim Schrein.
Yes.
Motion carries 3 ayes, 2 nays.
Are there any other items to come before the commission for the good of the order?
My second trip to Jim Carlson's farm felt different. I was excited for him. He had been fighting this pipeline for years, and he was in the clear. But after arriving, I realized things weren't that simple.
Can take land.
Jim doesn't believe he's in the clear.
Citizens of
He fears TransCanada will fight to get their preferred route back, the route that crosses Jim's property.
So, down deep, I'm still thinking that it won't be built, but I wouldn't bet a lot of money on it.
Has that changed since the hearing? Like, did the hearing change that at all?
Yeah, because they didn't give them. It would have been worse if they would have approved the mainline route. But with them throwing a curveball at them, that was a neat curveball. That was a neat throw.
Jim's fear is valid. The alternative route is longer, and TransCanada has already paid a large sum of money to landowners on the preferred route who agreed to allow the pipeline to run through. He wants to believe it won't happen, but his time battling TransCanada has taught him nothing is predictable or permanent. It's a waiting game. It always has been. But until then, Jim hopes to give support to the landowners on the new route in whatever means possible.